Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel and actually to my very first coloring video. So I'm sorry in advance if it's not perfect, it could be a bit wobbly, but I'll try my best to make sure that you can still see how I color properly. So today we'll be coloring in Johanna Basford's latest book, Worlds of Wonder. This is the page that we will be doing, and we will start with the jelly cake at the top left corner. So I have decided to make this jelly cake green. Feel free to choose your own color. That's okay. You can go for red and, I don't know, yellow, I guess. So for mine, I'll be using Prismacolor pencils. And so I will be using Spring Green, PC 913. Then I will be using Gelly Green, PC 1096. Then Dark Green, PC 908. I will also be using the white pencil, which is PC 938, just for slight or very light blending, let's say. And I might just go over the whole thing just to add a little limey tone, and I will be using Chartreuse PC 989. I might also use actually this one, which is Cool Gray, 90% Cool Gray, sorry, PC 1067. And also we will be using this, which is a gel pen, a white simple gel pen, and this one is from Sakura. It's called Gelly Roll, and it's a number 08. Basically you can use any gel pen, but make sure that it's small enough, that the tip is small enough, because we're going to use it to highlight the shine of the jelly. So you don't want the tip to be too big. So let's begin. So basically what we're going to start with is the base layer. So I'm going to go with Spring Green, PC 913. And I'm just going to color to go all around. By being careful, basically. I'm also going to go in the middle, because I don't really want pure white spots, but I will go very light. So the side should be a bit darker and the middle light. And make sure you don't use too much pressure. Prismacolor pencils are actually quite pigmented, so you don't really need to push too hard to apply the color, or so for the color to pop. So just go softly around like this, and basically the whole jelly will be the same. So I'm just going to show you in detail the bottom one, because it's the bigger as well and it's easier to see, but the rest I'll probably fast forward through the video, because it's always going to be the same colors and the same technique. So you go over very slightly, and let's continue. Make sure that your pencils are sharp, because it's a very small drawing. so you might want to use sharp pencil, unless you don't really mind going over the lines, which is okay. But I know I prefer to color inside the lines, especially for these tinies. And then the last one. So I'm trying to show you my technique. I'm not saying that my technique is perfect. This is my own, I guess. Feel free to follow and see if you like that technique. Otherwise, you know, just of course apply your own techniques. Always keep the light pressure. And that's it for the first layer. Okay, so let's now do the middle green, which basically wouldn't be very useful, but I like to use like a middle tone to just mark the darker spots and then go over even darker color to mark my shadows and, you know, highlights. So basically what we're doing here is that we want to color that jelly in a way that is transparent and shiny. And so we are gonna go, try to keep the center slightly, I mean, not slightly, but much lighter than the sides, which are gonna be shadowy. So you just go like this, still use a light pressure, especially on the left side of each, let's say, bits. The darker sides will be the right side, where there's a crease in between each part. And try to maybe push a little bit more with the pencil on the right side, but a little less on the left side. And basically also in between all the little candies at the bottom, this will be darker because they somehow cast a shadow on the jelly by just being there. Don't worry if it's not super smooth. For now, we will do that. We will blend out later. And it doesn't need to be perfect anyway, right? Nothing is. So basically you do the same for every part of the jelly. So my coloring is a bit because I'm a slow colorist. I'm very slow, and I'm trying to be careful. I go sometimes several times over the same bits. So I'm slow. This is a very slow process, even for like a tiny image. But you don't have to be, do exactly like me. You can go faster and do it your own way. Like I said before, I'm just showing my techniques. It's not perfect, definitely. I wish I could go faster and obtain the same result by going faster, but obviously I can't, otherwise I would make a mess of everything. Yeah, so that's it. That's why I will fast forward for the rest, because basically otherwise this video will be very long and boring, I guess. So don't forget to preserve the light in the middle. So make sure you don't go too much over with the mid green, which is Gelly green, by the way. I don't remember if I said it. PC 1096. I will probably add the colors on the screen later when editing the video, so you guys can always have the pencil color showing. Make sure you use the right one. And if you want to color For example, if you want to do a red jelly, I would probably choose 3 different greens, red, sorry. And I will, for the lightest one of the first layer, I will probably use pink, a pinkish red. And then like a mid-tone, a mid-red, not a very dark one. And for the last bit, the darkest one you can find to do the shadows. And same for other colors, obviously. Try to think of very light, mid-tones and dark tones. And then you can even add like like the cool gray I'm going to use for the shadow, or like a dark brown, depending on the color you choose. I like to use gray when my colors are a bit cooler or colder. I don't know if you prefer. So for me, green is kind of on the cooler side, I guess. I'm not sure this is true, but this is how I see it. So I'm using grayish tones to do the shadows. But for the red, which is for me a warmer color, I would use maybe dark browns, if this makes sense. We will probably do that for the cherries, because I'm gonna do this as cherries, the little balls. And we will use reds and maybe a dark brown to do the shadow. Okay, so we are almost finished with the mid-tones, and you see this is super slow because I am a slow colorist, so bear with me. And feel free to go faster and at your even slower. I mean, if you're not, if you're even slower than me, which is okay. Everyone colors its own base, which is totally fine. Okay, so now we are going to go for the darker one, which is dark green 908. And I'm going to focus on the right side, and you'll see that will, emphasize on the transparency of the jelly. So we will actually go, you will see me go over again several times with the same colors, to make things pop a bit more. And also blend with the white, but we will do this later. For now we are focusing on the green, the dark green. So you see at the bottom, we are not going too much into the light. Use light pressure here with your pencil. We will go with the white over that to blend. Use very light pressure. And you can use a stronger pressure on the crease, like that. I might also go again with the lighter green pencil, because I think it's a bit too white to my taste, and not, limey enough. So we'll see. For now, let's continue with the dark, and we'll see later how it looks. So like I said at the beginning, I'm super sorry if it's a bit wobbly. I can see because I have this reflector app that shows on my computer, and I see that it's a bit wobbly because actually the tripod is fixed on my table, and somehow when I'm coloring it's wiggly, and I don't know, my table might not be sturdy enough. I'm not sure why it does that. I'm actually going to move in September and I'll have a different setup, I think. The tripod will probably not be fixed on the table, so it might be better for videos. Okay. So what you see here is that for now, my color transition is not great. It looks a bit not smooth enough to my taste, but we will fix that later. So I will be calling this series Treats of Wonder, because basically all you see on the page, these 12 images, are pretty much super sugary stuff. Of course, the book is called Worlds of Wonder, so we can match our projects to the book title, like I did for the cake, which I called Cakes of Wonder. I did this challenge where I colored one cake per day. But for Treats of Wonder, I probably won't do one per day, because if I have to do a video for each one, it will take me much longer to finish. So I will film them all if I can. I hope I can. So we will be able to color all these 12 images together. Of course, I'm repeating myself, but I like to focus on that, is that feel free to choose your own colors. You don't have to choose exactly the same as mine. If you don't like the green jelly, you can go for different colors. Okay. So yes, so it's not green enough. I'm going back again with Spring Green 913. So it's way too light. I am not liking this too much so far. That's better. See the difference? It's always like this with coloring. You start and then you don't really like what you're doing, and of course you can go back after to fix that, which we're doing right now. Feel free to even go, because now that we see that the light green was not dark enough, feel free to just maybe start this base layer directly a bit darker than I did at the beginning. And then we will use the white to smooth everything out, and we might need to actually go again with some greens to just give it a bit more popness. I don't even know if this is a word, I just invented it. You get what I mean. Okay, so now white, and we're gonna blend the middle part. Do not put too much pressure. It's just we just want to smooth out the middle and give some highlight. And we will go again with greens, because you see the dark green on the crease is definitely not dark enough. So we will go again over that. Focus on the middle. Sorry about the wobbliness. It's definitely not the best setup, I must say. I'll try to do better. Maybe I should fix this tripod somewhere else, but I have no idea how. I'll try to find a better solution for next coloring. Okay. I might just put a little bit of Chartreuse 989 just over the lighter spot, just to give it even more an even more limey feel, but don't push too much. This pencil is, you know, pigmented enough, so you don't need to press too much. You just want to give it a hint of color. Okay, that's it. Now, like I said, we need to go with the dark green again over the sides, and we will need a bit more blending. Bear with me, I know my coloring is not perfect. This is how I do. Actually, I really like coloring like this and go over tiny details. It makes, I don't know, it makes me feel really relaxed. I don't know about you, but this is what I like in coloring. Focusing on details, and it's really relaxing. So the thing is with Prismacolor pencils that they're really waxy. They leave these little chunks of pigment on the page, so be careful when you want to blow them out. Usually I just sometimes press my finger, but I try to be careful. But don't just wash them like that, because it's going to stain your paper afterwards. Okay, so I like the dark green on this side, and just to smooth out a little bit the darkness, I'll use the mid green, Gelly green 1096, just to blend out and make a smoother transition in between the greens. Okay, I like that. Yes, I like it. And now I'm gonna actually use a cool gray 90%, 1067, and I will go even darker on the crease and in between the cherries. You don't need to press too much. This one is also quite pigmented. And we can even go again with the dark green on top, just to oh, see what I did here. I went over the red cherry, but that's okay. It's not that bad. Okay. You can press harder when you're really there on the crease, and go again with the dark green. Yeah, it's nice. I might actually go maybe a bit with the lightest green, spring green, 913 again. Okay. Yeah, so I think I like it this way, pretty much. I will show you how to. Now we're gonna use a Gelly Roll, the white gel pen, and go and create the, go over these lines that Johanna drew to show us where to highlight. Usually, actually this is my first time using this jelly roll. I usually use the white Posca pen, which is like a paint pen, we can say that. So this is my first time using this brand. Actually, I've used gel pen before, but not from this brand. So we can do the rest. And now we're going to move on to the cherries. And first, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a little tail to the top cherry. And you can see I've already slightly, very gently doodled it with just a random, mechanical pencil like this one. Very simple. And I'm just going to go over it with oh yeah, sorry. So I'm using this Sakura basically fine liner in black. It's 0005. It's very, very small. So you just go gently like this, and you just do like little chunky thingy at the top, because it's just the same way Johanna does it on the cake page. So I want to try to keep it like kind of the same. And now for the cherries. So we're going to use first still the Prismacolor pencil, and this will be permanent red in PC 122. Then I don't know about this. I was thinking I would use Crimson Lake PC 925 just to emphasize the shadow, and maybe a little bit also of the espresso PC 1099 for more shadow. Let's see, maybe we won't use all three of them for just a small details. Okay, so now what I do for this cherries is usually I just go like this, and I leave a little white spot for the shiny effect. I'm still going over it with usually a white Posca or a gel pen, because it makes the shiny bit pop a bit more. There you go. So I really like permanent red because it really pops out, and if you put it next to green, the green color, it's really nice. So basically we're gonna do the same for all the bottom cherries. So now we are going to move to the stand, and basically I will use the same colors as on the cake page. So when I colored the cake stands, I used Prismacolor Slate Gray PC936, Muted Turquoise PC1088, the white pencil PC938, and cold gray 1067. I really like this pencil. This is one of my favorite. So for the tray, I'm going to start with slate gray and put the first layer. And I'm gonna go actually all around the cherries because they will cast a shadow on the tray. And here I'm going to just darken it to give it that metal effect. I'm actually really good at coloring stands or tray, or I don't know how it's called actually, stands I think. It's not definitely not one of my core strengths in coloring. I don't know, I think I cannot figure out how the light and shadow works on this specific stance, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. I'll figure out anyway. Leaving a little white spot here for some highlights. So as usual, use light pressure. Here I'm gonna do the shadows because it's underneath the main tray. I'm gonna leave these round thingy, I think white, because it's like there are holes in the tray or the stand. I'm not sure. And in my mind, I'm figuring out that the light should come from the left side. So I'm getting the right side a bit darker than the left. I'm also keeping some white from the paper for the highlights, trying to preserve this. And I might just maybe also use the gel pen, but maybe not. I'll see. Sometimes I'm trying to preserve the light from the white of the paper, but you know, on these very tiny drawings it's really difficult at some point. Even if your pencil is really sharp, sometimes you just, you know, go over the light, and it's okay. You just fix it with gel pen or white Posca. This is the magic of coloring. You can always fix things somehow. Maybe you don't, sometimes you don't, but it's okay. Usually you can save most of it. So for the foot, I might just go like cast a shadow down here like this, leave a little white spot on the right, and to the bottom. like I said before, I have absolutely no idea if this is the right way of coloring a metal stand. I have no idea. I'm just going with the flow, and I don't know, I'm just doing it. It's okay if it's not the right way, or if the shadow is not correct. It's okay. I think nobody will sue me for that. And of course, if you are more comfortable with this metal coloring and you know exactly where the shadow and light should be, then please go ahead and do it your own way. I mean, mostly I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so now we are done for the moment. We will use it again later, but the slate gray is done. We're going to move to muted turquoise 1088. Yeah, 1088. And we're just going to go over some of the parts to give it a bluish tone. I really like this color actually for metal, or even the snow. If you want to color snow, you can use it for the shadowy part of the snow. And don't use too much pressure. Just go over the gray and a little bit on the white, but a tiny bit, because you want the blue to show through, but not too much. Tiny bit. I'm not sure if this is visible on camera, but if you color along, you will see how it looks. I hope the weather will be better. I mean, we've been the summer season has started for weeks now, and we had super hot weather in Switzerland for a couple, maybe a week and a half, really hot. And then all of a sudden it all becomes rainy and not very nice, and it's been going on like this for weeks. So hopefully we'll get some summer at some point, because we got from rain and then to super hot and then rain again. I mean, might be, global warming, completely going crazy, the weather, seasons all like messed up. Okay, so now the leg, a little bit. And the foot. Is it called a foot for a stand? I don't know. Let's say it does. It is. Sorry. English is obviously not my birth language. Sometimes I make mistakes. Actually, I used to be really good in English and almost passed for an English person, because I was living in London and I've been living there for a while, in the London area, and so I had the accent and everything, but then it's been years. I mean, I left in 2011, so it's been years now, and I don't really have English with English speakers with the England accent working around me, so I just speak English with all sorts of people from different countries, so you don't really practice the accent anymore, and you kind of lose it in the end. Because my birth language is French. And sorry, by the way, I switched to cold gray because I'm gonna do the light and shadow now, the contrast. So you go beneath. Actually, no, I missed a step, which is the white pen, and I usually go like that to blend. like so. Not too much actually, you just want to preserve the highlights, that's it. And anyway, we will go over it, not over the white, but overall the color with slate gray again and cold gray. And now, where was I with the cold gray there? So yeah, my birth language is French, and I don't think I will do videos in French because, I mean, it's not a language that everybody's speaking, so I think it's easier to do everything in English. So a thing I do also when I use gel pens is that I have this thing. So this is basically you know, these peak, like toothpicks that we use for food, you know, like odors and stuff like that. And I use it to scratch out or scratch off the gel pen when I think the line is not smooth enough or that it's too big, and I just go like that very gently. Of course, you have to wait until the gel pen is dry, which is the case here. And you see, you can actually sharpen your line because the thing with me is that I'm not really good at drawing a straight line, let's say. So you see my lines, my gel pen lines are quite wobbly. And so I like to go with my peak after and just scratch off the bits that I'm not happy with. Like, look at this one, so wobbly. So I just go like that. Sometimes I just scratch it off completely and start again. But I think for now it's fine. Am I happy with this one? I'm not sure. I think this should not be actually here. I think I'm just gonna remove this bit. There. Okay. So I think we are basically finished. This is our green jelly cake from Jurassic Park. And I think we finished the first of these 12 tinies, the first treats, first treat of wonder. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you follow along, please show me what you did. I'm curious to see, and you can tag me on Instagram and use hashtag treatsofwonder so I can find your post and show it in my story. And I will see you soon for the next video of Treats of Wonder. Then thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.